I want to talk today a little bit about your coming horoscopes for the month of March. I did a video about the mundane charts that are coming with the Aries ingress and what's coming with the coming solar eclipse, which is going to affect us on a national level. But I want to zoom in a little bit more and focus on what's going on with you guys in your zodiac sign. So I'm going to break this down by rising sign today because there are a lot of major changes coming this month. We'll start with Aries rising. If you're an Aries rising, we have a Venus going retrograde in Aries. So normally this brings out a lot of boldness in relationships, in love. We feel more passionate about our causes. We may not be as committed, but we're into having a little bit more fun when Venus is in Aries. Now, Venus going retrograde here, a lot of connections to the past may return. Retrograde actions tend to bring back unresolved issues, things that we have not quite completed, things in our lives that may have even started 2 years ago. Around the last Venus retrograde may come back for another round. We may see someone in our life we haven't seen in quite a while, for better or for worse. We may be bringing up unresolved issues and feelings, especially if you're in Aries. You're really going to be feeling this at first because it's happening all in your sign of Aries. And since this new moon is also happening on the 27th of February, it's going to set the tone for the month. And especially if you're an Aries rising, this is all happening in your 12th house. So that 12th house of secrets, of things that we normally keep hidden, of those sides of ourself that are unseen by the public. It can bring out hidden circumstances, maybe unseen enemies that we really don't want to confront, even unseen mental tensions and errors in our thinking. We might put ourselves down a bit. We may need to retreat, take more space than usual this month as an Aries rising, especially since there's a large 5-planet conjunction kind of happening here at the end of February. So, the sun, the moon, Saturn, Mercury, and Neptune are all going to be in Pisces in your 12th house. So this really is requiring you to step back. It wants you to pull back. Think about the direction that you're heading in life. Where are things going for me? Do I need to work with these people anymore? Maybe I need some more space for me individually. Because, Aries really love a lot of independence. So this is kind of that time when you might need to step away from the group of people, step away from a boyfriend or girlfriend. Take some more personal space. And since this new moon also squares Jupiter at first, this does speak to us overdoing things. Right? Maybe some of the efforts that we've been putting in, maybe we've been giving too much affection, maybe we've been wasting too much time on a certain project. And as we start to resolve those issues, the sun and moon move closer to Saturn. So this is going to bring out more of a sense of maturity. This is going to bring out more of a sense of discipline in the way that we think, in the way that we interact. It can bring out hidden problems, tensions, maybe in the work life, in the work environment, especially because Capricorn rules your 10th house and Saturn is still sitting in your 12th. So there can be unresolved things at work that happen, maybe problems with a boss. So we need to kind of step away. We need to step away. We need to rework the way that we're thinking. And with the Mars finally going direct, but still square Aries here, there is kind of this push-pull between work life, home life, and our personal needs happening this month. We do start to have more focus and more ambitions when we step away from a project. So as we move back into our specific path that we're walking on, you're going to feel a little bit more like yourself by the end of this. Like you have a clear vision of where you're heading and of where you need to be. And since Venus is in the first house, that house of personality, that house of self-expression, that house of how we speak and how we dress and how we present ourselves to the world, with the retrograde here, we really want to do things more for ourselves. If we've been doing things to please others, maybe we've been dressing a certain way, maybe we've been talking a certain way, maybe we've been pretending we like a certain movie or song, and we really didn't like it that much, especially because Venus rules this 7th house here. There's been a lot of influence from partners, boyfriends, girlfriends, wives, husbands, someone close to us, a business partner, or even just a best friend. We've been feeling a lot of their influence, and maybe it's been sucking up some of that independence that we're so accustomed to as Aries. And now that this Mars is direct again and it's squaring here, we are feeling a little bit more desirous to impart our own volition on the world, right? We want to be the ones that are in charge. We want to feel like we have that dynamic energy, like we have the inner strength to be who we want to be. And you might feel that starting to push out a little bit more, especially if we've been going along with things, if we haven't been feeling that true sense of purpose and of self that we're so used to as Aries. So you're going to be moving along and really separating the wheats from the chaffs, right? We're going to feel who is in alignment with us by the end of this entire cycle. And as Tauruses are also going to be feeling this because Venus is your ruler. So Venus is very prominent here in a Taurian's chart, especially as a rising. So this has already been kind of a month for Taurus. The previous month, along those same lines, with Venus in the 12th house in Aries. This can be a time when the Taurians have secret relationships happening, maybe talking behind the scenes. Maybe they were kind of planning things, having a little more fun that other people didn't know about. This may be a time when you enjoy your private life more. Because Venus in Aries in the 12th house, it's still bold and it's still adventurous and it still likes taking risks and chances in pleasure and in relationships. So this could be anything from spending more time with our gardening, going outside. You know, Taurians generally love any kind of connections with nature, but also this does bring out that sense of we're looking for something different. We're looking for something exotic. We're looking for something, you know, maybe talking to someone on the internet that we never met before. And this could be more of a secretive relationship that other people haven't realized and they haven't seen that side of us because we're kind of letting it hang out behind the scenes. And that's what's been going on for Taurus rising. Now, since Venus is going retrograde in the 12th house, again, those same principles of perhaps people from the past can come back, but also because it's in the 12th house, we might find that some of the activities we've been engaged in, if they have not been completely above board, they could come back to haunt us. We could potentially be seeing that. We could also just see a return of old feelings, old feelings that were unresolved, that we really need to work through, that we really need to work with. That's coming back as well. Now, the saving grace here is that Mars going direct is very helpful for a Taurus rising. Because this Mars is still in a good aspect, it's going to give us a lot of passion. It's going to give us a good drive, a lot of ambition. We're going to feel our old ambitions return. So on the material level, money-wise, we might see more luck, especially since Jupiter is in the second house here, and now Mars is pushing you. It's pushing you to get active. It's pushing you to take those risks that we haven't taken or we've been putting off and we haven't been going full throttle. It's really pushing you to get back into the action. And with everything going on in Pisces here, which is the 11th house, again, we did have this massive conjunction happening up here in Pisces with the new moon. So, you know, this wants us to look a little bit more seriously about the people that we associate with. You know, maybe we have a friend or a group of friends and we like them, we like hanging out with them, but they're not quite good for us. They're not great for our advancement. Maybe we go out and drink too much with them. Maybe we just waste a little bit too much time in general with the people in our lives. So since all of this is going into a Saturn conjunction, you know, it is requiring you to look a little bit more seriously about your connections, the people you're letting in your life. Are they up to speed with some of your more ambitious projects and goals? Are they contributing to that stability that Taurians love? Are they bringing that grounding? Are they helping you feel, you know, like you're glowing up? Are you feeling like your best self? Is that coming out? So this is a month to get a little more serious about who we're interacting with, how we're interacting with them. And as far as work life goes, Saturn is also here integrated in this because, again, you are ruled by Saturn in your 10th house of careers up here in Aquarius. So this is a Saturnian-based theme or work-related things. So this could be a time to get a little bit more serious about work life and projects, especially since this Sun is moving to conjunct Saturn. It feels like we have to mature. We have more responsibilities, especially when it comes to our work and our career. And as it was with the last sign, we do see some of that tension between the home life and between the professional life. We might see more pushy people, maybe a boss that's a little bit more pushy, especially with Mars here trining Saturn this month. Because this speaks to a lot of discipline, a lot of self-ambition coming from yourself, but also from the people around us, such as a boss. Someone could be pushing us to really get things done. You might have that little voice in the back of your mind that's saying you need to complete something. So all this is going on. So there is some benefits to this. There is some benefits. It's telling us to get a little bit stricter. Do you, as a Taurus, want to maintain that sense of stability in your life? That sense of security. Taurians are generally not that happy with change. So we have to look at this as if, are our extracurricular activities interfering with that overall theme we've built up throughout our life? Is this something I can take with me for the long run? And that's really what's going on this month with Taurus. If you're a Gemini rising this month, there are major changes happening. We have a Venus retrograde. We have Mars finally going direct. And there is a major focus around career and career responsibility this month as a Gemini rising, especially. We have the sun, the new moon, was exactly squaring Jupiter. So this may be a warning. Jupiter really doesn't cause harm, but at the same time, it makes us a little bit overconfident. We might be feeling overly secure about the direction that we're headed. But the problem with this is this sun is also moving to conjunct Saturn in a few weeks here. So this is going to make you be more disciplined one way or another. You may see more critique from a boss. You may see more responsibilities pile up, especially because Mars is in the second house here. That is a lot of responsibility to get our finances straight, to make sure that we are performing, whether that be, proving we are up to the job because our boss is giving us some kind of a screening and they're bringing the consultants in, whatever the case is, or if you have your own business you need to focus more on. It's time to get a little bit more serious, because we may have been wasting too much time with this Sun square Gemini. Maybe we were overconfident. We think our ideas are too good. We think we can float by on things that we've done in the past. And this here, all these aspects are pointing, saying that you do need to still put in work. Now, the saving grace here is that the ruler of Gemini, Mercury, is in a nice conjunct with Neptune this month, all on the North Node. So this does bring out an incredible sense of creativity. This does bring out much more artistic expression, maybe ideas that we've been cultivating. They've been bubbling underneath us, just waiting to get out, whether that be writing a book or vlogging or blogging, especially any kind of musical creation or videography or film. All are very much expressive, especially because Mercury's in Pisces, Neptune's in Pisces. This does bring out a lot of sensitivity, a lot of creativity, a lot of that intuition. So maybe if you're trying to start a spiritual business like reading tarot or doing astrology, it is a good time to bring out those creative ideas. But with this Saturn aspect as well, it wants you to discipline yourself. It wants you to bring them out in a much more grounded manner, because just kind of fantasizing about things and wishing that they would be and trying to manifest them, it's not going to cut it. We need to put, a stone to the ground. We need to put pen to paper. We need to actually make the things that we are working on happen. We do have this Jupiter aspect now that is direct in Gemini, so there is going to be more luck. There is going to be more luck as you go forward, and you are becoming more of this grounded being. Although later, Jupiter is also going to square Saturn again, and it's going to give you a review. So it wants to make sure you are doing things methodically. You're doing things in the right order. You're laying that foundation. You've made the right investments. We want to make sure that we are doing things systematically and with a great deal of acumen and research. We do not want to be wishy-washy. We don't want to be that Gemini that, floats a million ideas and can't stick with any of them because we have so many things going on in our mind. And that's the only danger with Jupiter in Gemini. Sometimes it has so many things that it wants to accomplish that it doesn't really focus in on any, because Jupiter's expanding that Gemini's natural sensitivity and acumen, and it wants to learn everything, it wants to do everything, it wants to talk about everything, but at the same time, it has a hard time honing in. So Saturn here is really disciplining you this month. It wants you to get more focused at work. So whether that's pressures from that boss, whether it's clients that have been demanding something from you, because you need to keep people happy this month. There is a big focus on that. And with this Venus retrograde, especially in this 11th house here, there may be old themes that come back. These are our aspirations for our public life. These are the people that help us along the way. And with Venus going retrograde, we could see a return of things from the past. Maybe someone that we blew off. Maybe someone that we, had some kind of relationship with that kind of returns to our life to finish out that chapter. And you might find out by the end of this that it's actually helpful, because ultimately Venus is going to be touching Saturn here during its retrograde at the end of it, which does bring out more seriousness. You know, this can, at its best, this can bring out relationships that are longer term. This can bring out very serious investments. This can bring out maturing at in a profitable way. Think of like an actor that grows older and they become more wise, but they also still look great, and they start looking better because they're glowing up. But at its worst, with a Venus Saturn aspect, we could see old themes pop up like money issues if we have not laid the foundation. Because if you haven't laid the foundation, Saturn is going to come back and test you. It's going to show you what you've been doing wrong. So whether that be in a relationship, whether that be in your work life, anything like that is possible with all of these aspects that are happening. But this month especially, there is a massive focus here on work and getting things done and accomplishing. The thing is, since we also have a Mars-Saturn aspect trine in the sky, this does bring out a lot of ability and strength to accomplish tasks that would have normally drained us, that we would not have been able to focus on. So don't be that Gemini that's not honing in. You're not using your abilities, because you do have great abilities. You guys do have this incredible mind when you put it to use. So put it to use on something, focus in and get projects done, and you will see success.